Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. In this video, I will be just quickly telling you guys what the best headphones are, the ones that I've heard. And let's just start off with the Sennheiser Mark 1. That's the old model. A lot of people were complaining about it around the, I think, 6 hertz, kilohertz area. I don't know. It's I mean, value wise, you get a lot for your money. The problem I have with Sennheiser generally is that they make a very analytical dead sound, but I would think that at this time you actually get a lot of value for the money. So but definitely consider upgrading that cable, because that really locks the sound. But value wise, I would say that this is still one of the very best headphones on the market value wise. And I don't really like the newer Sennheiser models. I mean, the two had more bass, but it was kind of more fake. HD 820, which is supposed to be the new big top one, is a closed design and it just sounds weird. It's still kind of cool, but price wise, no, I wouldn't say that that's anyway near good for the price. And also at the 10th place, the Ultrasone ED5 Limited Edition 5. Actually, pretty amazing headphone. It is a lot of money. It doesn't really belong on the list money wise, but very impressive. I just thought I had to put that on the list because that actually impressed me. And I usually don't like Ultrasone headphones. I usually find them a bit harsh and bright, but I liked it. I liked it quite a lot. And yeah, of course you can't make a top 10 list without putting Stax on that list. I'm not really a Stax kind of guy. It's a bit of an electrostat sound, but I do get it why people like Stax. But generally, I don't like how stiff Stax are with special plugs and amps and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's a good sound, but price wise, combining that with a Stax amplifier, I just think it's a bit crazy. But yeah, it is impressive, definitely impressive, and belongs on the list. So well done for Stax with that. But slightly better is the Grado, the new top model of Grado, and I think that generally Grado's top models are really nice, really creamy, really retro, and it just gives that old kind of, yeah, almost romantic type of sound. And they're really good with instruments. I really like the way that Grado sounds with instruments with their top models. So yeah, I really like Grado. Very interesting brand. And slightly better is the HiFiMAN headphone. I've heard it a couple of times. It was interesting, not the very best in the world, but it had a bit of everything. So very good. Still very pricey. I'm not sure about the price, if that's right, but yeah. Headphone, a headphone, or whatever you call it, that is just crazy good for the price. I'm really surprised why this headphone is so cheap. It almost feels like a normal 5K headphone, $5,000 headphone. Really, really good, really good. Dry detail, has basically everything, but change the cable again. I don't know what it is with top headphones. Can't they give them some proper cables? I mean, I've heard the headphone with a proper cable costing more than the headphone, and when you give it a proper cable, I mean, it gets close to the Audeze 4 level of sound. Really good, really good headphone. I wouldn't say that the headphone has the best bass. I mean, the last three contenders, I would say that they probably have better bass, probably a bit better instruments, and a couple of other things. But I mean, the headphone really gives you a crazy amount of value. So for people who are, new to the game, who don't want to fiddle around too much, yeah, go with that. That's a pretty safe bet. And one of my favorites are the Focal Utopia. I think it varies quite a bit depending on where you are in the world, but I really like this sound. It's like the most all-round headphone at the top level, and like at a pretty good price. Still a bit expensive, but I really feel that also the cable that they used, cable is actually pretty good. You really don't see that in a lot of really good headphones. And just a very human-like, natural, soft type of sound, but still a lot of detail, very developed in sound. I mean, Focal Utopia, you could have that for the rest of your life and still be satisfied, not feeling that there's anything that's lacking. Of course, comparing it to the best in the world, the Audeze and the Orpheus, it doesn't have nearly the same evolved sound and the deep sound that really pulls you down. It's just a really good, smart sounding pair of headphones, and they are very comfortable to wear. But, I mean, they could actually learn a tiny bit from the Sennheiser HD 800 Mark 1. I really don't understand why manufacturers can't make headphones, stuff that rests on your head and not on the ears. I mean, I find it really annoying, especially with Audeze headphones, that they have this like clamping effect, and it has to put pressure around your acupuncture points. I don't get it. Why can't they just put some bigger drivers where they just don't touch the ears at all? And I don't really have big ears. I have normal sized ears, and I think they should make some headphones that are so big that they rest on the head but don't pull down on you and strain your neck. Like Sennheiser does. But yeah, Focal Utopia, just a really good traditional all-round headphone, not really biased in any direction. You could feel that, I mean, if you listen to several hours of music every day, you could feel that it could go a bit deeper, get a bit more detail, but yeah, very good price, and it actually this is where I feel that Focal Utopia, that around there, that's when it feels like you have a proper speaker, and you're not listening to a set of headphones. So that's very special. Okay, the Audeze LCD3, the original one. I really like the original one, and I have to say about Audeze is that they're really, really bad with their standard cables. So any Audeze that you have, maybe even the Audeze 4, change the cable. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this closed-in sound effect that most Audeze headphones have, this small soundstage, is closely related to the really bad cables that they provide. I mean, they're really bad, just like the headphone cable and just like the Sennheiser cable. Just really bad, really dragging the performance down, It feels a lot like having a sports car, but the exhaust is only like the size of a straw. I really don't get it. And it creates this like old, reserved, kind of classic sound. And it's quite annoying. Just upgrade that cable, get something like a silver, what's it called, moon silver dragon cable, something like that, or I wouldn't say card, as that's going to make it overly warm and a bit shut in, but a really good silver cable is really really good with Audeze, and it just gets into this classic, almost audio note type of sound, and I really like that. And going over to the Audeze 4, this is where it gets a bit weird. I feel that the Audeze 4 is a kind of a chameleon headphone, where it changes quite a lot depending on the gear that you have. And it can easily sound weird and almost too analytical in a way. So you just have to find a really good pairing with that headphone. But really a lot of potential there. And I actually think the cable that comes with it is basically the only okay Audeze headphone cable. So very interesting cable, very detailed sound. So that really surprised me, because I read some places like Inner Fidelity that they didn't like the headphone, and I was surprised, but it does kind of change on you. It's a bit like the Sennheiser HD800 Mark 1. It can really sound weird on some gear and change a lot on other pieces of gear. So yeah. Now the Abyss headphone, it's just a work of art. Looks really horrible though, but I don't know. The sound is just really extreme detail, really extreme depth and layering and separation, and extremely dry and deep, and basically just has everything. You could possibly upgrade the cable that goes with it and get even more. But again, the Abyss is a bit like the Audeze 4, a bit of a chameleon. Wouldn't say quite as much as the Audeze 4, but it can change character quite a bit depending on the amplifier and the source that you have. So very volatile sound, the Audeze, and especially the Abyss sound. Crazy dynamics. Really gets you at this level. It really will get anyone addicted to listening to headphones. So I would like to one day own a pair of those headphones. They are quite extreme. It reminds me a bit of the Verity Sarastro speaker, with the ribbon treble that it had. You get this like insane treble sound and middle range that's just so much more developed and kind of boggles your mind, where you can't really find anything that's wrong with the headphone. It kind of puts you in a trance where you just think, what is this? This is just extreme, Well, yeah, just, that's all what I can say. Just extreme detail. I wouldn't say analytical. Just really extreme. I was quite surprised with that. And yeah. I mean, the best headphone in the world is still the Sennheiser Orpheus headphone. It just has that sound from another planet. But it's also a bit of a... It's not really fair to compare it to the other headphones, because the headphone amplifier that comes with the Orpheus, I don't know how much of that is reflected in the 50k price, but that is really a good amplifier. I tried it with some other headphones, and that amplifier is actually extremely good. So I wouldn't be surprised if 30k of that went over to just developing the amplifier. That is an extremely good amplifier, and it goes really well with the Orpheus. I mean, the Orpheus. Once you get into the Abyss, you really start feeling it with your body, the whole sound. It's almost like you're falling down a hole into another universe, and you just lose track of time completely. But the Orpheus, I mean, that takes you to another planet, and the depth and the impact, and you can just feel the whole thing with your body. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy, and I would like to one day also own that. And the funny thing is that I heard this with some really bad source material, some CD player going onto the Orpheus amplifier, a really bad CD player actually, but it still sounded very good. So I would like to hear the Orpheus one day with like an audio note DAC feeding it, with an audio note CD player at the top end. That would be mind blowing. That would probably be the best ever experience possible in headphones. But yeah, if you're someone like me who doesn't have a lot of money, regular guy, what I would do is take probably the headphone, give it a good cable for only around 2K, and then make my own triode amplifier. I would just take something like an Audio Note P300 tube amplifier and get that redone so it also has a headphone output. I mean, that would give you like a standard 15K sound, so you don't have to buy any of those expensive amplifiers on the market. I basically feel that headphone amplifiers on the market are really bad, really held back, and also a lot of these headphones, I mean, a lot of them are really held back by the cables. It just feels like it's parked in a almost reserved, conservative sound where it doesn't go to the next level and really gets really close to the music and has that extra depth. So yeah, those are my thoughts about these headphones. This is of course my opinion, but I generally feel that, you know, if you want to consider headphones replacing a good hi-fi system, I mean, it starts with these headphones, and if you like want the very best, I mean, go for something like these two, or something that's, you know, just close to it with probably these two hearings. So yeah, I hope that helps you guys, and remember to upgrade those cables. You know, I can't say that enough. I mean, the standard cables that come with headphones in general are really boring, really crap, and it kind of makes the structural part of the details stand out in an unnatural kind of way. So once you get a really good headphone cable, and you pretty much can't buy a really good upgrade headphone cable. I mean, I know that Moon Audio, Silver Dragon, or whatever it's called, there I would actually say that you can buy a really top good headphone cable, but that's basically the only headphone cable upgrade that I've heard that's really good. I mean, personally, I would go a step beyond that, and I would make, like I did with my Sennheiser HD 800 Mark 1. I got it custom made. I mean, I paid a lot of money for that. That probably cost me like $1,500, but what I got was FuruTech plugs, and then I got Audio Note Silver on that cable, and it really changed the direction of the sound. So it was just so much more natural, and instruments were so much more lively, and you were just getting the beauty and the waviness of the sound instead of just pieces of information isolated with this like bare bones, almost slightly metallic digital effects, which was before. So yeah, something to think about. And that was all, and have a nice day. Bye.